Good morning, it's Tony here from Barlow Roots. It's been a little while since we've done a garden tour, so I thought I'd take you around, show you what's growing and the progress we've been making in the garden. It is mid-June right now, and we've had pretty perfect weather for gardening this year. Rain when we needed it, it's been plenty warm, and yeah, it's been pretty nice. So let's take you for a walk around the garden. Right now I'm in the cherry orchard. You can see we do have some cherry trees that are doing really well. We've got a lot of cherries that we'll be picking off these trees. This side of our orchard is doing awesome. We do have some disease pressure on this side. That side over there, those are our older trees, and they have struggled a little bit more. We pruned them pretty heavily over the winter because they had a lot of disease and were struggling. So they have some fruit, but with as much wood as we took off, not a lot. And the fruit they do have isn't doing great. So that's the way it goes. Tart cherries are a little challenging. We're thankful we've got these 7 trees over here that are really doing nice. This is exciting. We've got our new high tunnel pretty close to finished. So we pulled plastic over this weekend, Father's Day. We had a lot of family here, and so I whipped them into shape and we pulled the plastic over. The one piece we don't have done yet is the end wall, but we'll get that finished soon. You can see kind of how it's going to look. So we just need to fasten that plastic down on the end walls. The big reason we did this is for to keep the rain off of some of our plants in here. So we've got green beans on that wall, and they do fine in the rain. Peppers right here in the second row. They'll love the heat in here. This is zucchini, and it'll be really nice to keep the rain off the zucchini. Last year our season was cut about 2 months short, probably because of disease created by having rain. We've got peas in this middle row. And then over here, we've got climbing beans, pole beans on half this bed on this side, and that half down there, I think Ingrid is experimenting with some celery, so that should be interesting. These are climbing beans on this side as well, and these are all going to be dried beans. So those will be for our family to keep. And then this is our cucumber trellis, which we're really enjoying, and we've just got 2 lines of twine down to the cucumber plants, and the cucumber plants as well will really enjoy having no rain. So all of these will be are irrigated by drip irrigation underneath the black plastic, and we do have baby cucumbers coming already. Those are actually going to be picked today, so we'll help these climb using these clips. These are tomato clips. Help them climb up this trellis, and it should be a kind of a wild cucumber maze tunnel in here eventually. So that's exciting. Just outside the high tunnel is our winter squash beds, and for those of you who shop here at Barlow Roots, there are some things we grow for customers and some things we grow for ourselves. We may have, with this volume of winter squash, if the season goes well, we may have some to sell this year. Typically we've put a lot of these away in our own root cellar for the winter. But yeah, really happy to have this high tunnel done. If those of you who've been around a while, this is the high tunnel that collapsed. Not last winter, but the winter before. You can see right there, it's a little misshapen because I took the poles that were completely bent over and collapsed and rebent them into shape. So it's a little funky, but it's working. And we're really happy to have it. All right, let's walk over and see the tomatoes. Apple trees are doing well. We've got a ton of little baby apples. We're also learning in the apple orchard about some of the disease pressure we face here and how to manage that. Plenty of fruit. We've done some thinning of the apple fruit as well. But generally we're really happy with our apple trees. New apple trees are doing great. They are budding out really strong. Here is our salad beds. So the next succession of salad is looking pretty good. This whole bed here, this was one of our first beds. This is all has to come out and be replaced. So it's getting warmer now, so our salad doesn't last quite as long in the garden. This bed here is ready to pick. This bed here is really close to ready to pick. These are our herb beds, and that over there, that far bed is Bergen's flowers. So she's excited to be sharing those. So we have lots of basil planted here, a few random cabbages that we filled in. I think those are some beets right there. Here's some kale we filled in next to the rhubarb. Our asparagus that we eat as a family is just about done. Ingrid has planted radishes and green onions in that middle bed there. So we should have some of those in the next few weeks. This is all cilantro that is flowered. We've got some delicious broccoli. All this broccoli will go in the freezer. As a family, we grow these sort of crops and throw them right in the freezer. We made a couple fresh. But the reason is because we've got so much salad right now. That's our green vegetable. And broccoli freezes so well, it'll be good in the winter. Here's our garlic, which is looking really great. Probably getting close to harvest for the garlic. Look at these awesome cabbages. Starting to get a little firm in there. I think this is a Napa style cabbage. A couple other cabbages right here. It is amazing as we're right around the summer solstice, and it is amazing how effectively things grow during this time of the year. And then we've got a whole bunch of peas there as well. Kids have been picking off the peas. Strawberries here. We've gotten a few strawberries. The kids get them, I think I've had one. The kids get them pretty quickly. And then a few more cabbages here. Maybe some more broccoli there as well. Here's our Swiss chard bed, and that's looking really strong. And then the far end of this bed is more kale. These are all of our onions. And that next bed I think is mostly leeks. Oops. And then we've got potatoes right there. So everything looks really strong in the garden. Bergen planted a whole bunch of random flowers along the side of the high tunnel here. I think those are all sunflowers. And here's the tomato high tunnel, which is looking pretty good. I'm not 100% satisfied with it, but so tomatoes are growing well. We're trellising them up on the string and with the Florida weave on this side. You can see we do have a bunch of little baby tomatoes here starting to come. So this row here is all early tomatoes, and so that was my hope to have June tomatoes. I don't think we'll get there. And a good learning lesson we had is we had kale and kohlrabi planted in here. Those kale I showed you by the rhubarb used to be planted right here. Kale and any brassica, which would be broccoli, kohlrabi, will stunt the growth of tomatoes, we found. We didn't know that, but after doing a little research and watching our tomatoes really struggle here next to the kale, it's all got to go. So the kale and the kohlrabi both have an effect of stunting tomato plants, and it became pretty obvious eventually. But otherwise, everything looks really good, really strong, and everything's growing great. No disease pressure, which has been awesome. But we'll probably have a pretty typical tomato season where we expect a good crop of tomatoes. Sorry, I got cut off there. So we expect a good crop of tomatoes in July. July, August, September will be our tomato season. And we'll try again next year to have a nice early crop. The late frost really hurt us on our tomatoes. We lost about 80 plants. That was about a third of our crop to the late frost. So that set us back. That's gardening. And we're happy with everything we have in here. So that's about it from the farm stand and from the garden. Really appreciate you guys following us on our journey. And if you have questions about gardening, there's a ton of people gardening this year that haven't gardened in the past. If you have any questions about gardening, feel free to type them up in the comments, and we will happily share any knowledge we have on that. We're still learning, just like all of you, of course. It's a labor of love. So thanks for watching this video, and we will see you guys on the next video.